Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for a free art lesson. As I see people join in, I'd love to see people put in the comments where they're joining from and who they have with them. What are your ages? And if you are looking forward to this art class, make sure that you have your pencils, some paper, and an eraser available. This is an opportunity for you to be able to draw Baguette, the bread cat, and his helpful sidekick Arnold. It's going to be a really fun beginner level class for ages 4 to 12. And Audrey is going to be the teacher here. She is a 15-year-old homeschooler and leader of Blue Manor Academy's art club. So if you have a creative kid, you are going to really love this lesson. So a little bit about Blue Manor Academy, for those of you who are not familiar. It is the first online Christian homeschool academy modeled after elite prep schools. So what sets elite prep schools apart from other methods is that they train a child's mind, body, and spirit. So they take this even further at Blue Manor Academy by training children purpose, mastery, character, etiquette, social networking, faith, family, tradition, leadership, wealth, essential information, stories that matter, and real heroes from history that they can admire. So mastering the basics of knowledge in these areas sets a really solid foundation for a child on the path to greatness. So if you want to check out Blue Manor Academy, they actually have a free 30-day trial. And after that, it's only $25 a month per student. So really, really affordable. Okay, it looks like we have 15 people joining us live so far. We have Kennedy, Cameron, and Keegan from Nebraska that are joining us.
Hello.
Oh, is it so when you sign up for the free trial, I know that you get access to all of the different clubs that are ongoing. So do you get access to past video recordings as well?
Yes. So there are channels, and all the past clubs are on the channel.
So it looks like we have Nora from Washington, Rebecca from Texas. So we got a lot of creative kids that are joining us today. Okay, and we're going to get started in about 3 minutes. Audrey, why don't you tell me where you're joining us from today?
I'm actually in Texas. So yeah,
That's
Texas.
awesome. I'm over in Idaho, so completely other side of the country.
I used to live there. It's really nice.
It is. It's a nice warm day where super clear skies. It's super awesome. Looks like we have Violet from Wisconsin joining us. Hi. So does everyone have pencils and erasers ready for this class? We've got Rory in Utah. Thanks for joining us. We've got Kinley and Everlyn from South Carolina, Taylor from New Jersey.
Ooh,
Looks like we have
really nice.
lots of people that are excited to do this free art lesson. So I super appreciate you coming on here and doing this for free for everyone, since this is something that you guys do. There's really $25 per student to be able to get access to art lessons like this. So this is super cool.
Yeah, it's really fun. I'm glad I'm on here.
Okay, if everyone has their pencils, paper, and erasers ready, I think that we are ready to begin.
Alrighty. So I'm just going to share my screen. Alrighty. There we go. Alrighty, guys. Hello. I am Audrey, and today I'm going to teach you all how to draw Baguette, the baking bread cat, and his sidekick Arnold. Now, I actually made a whole comic series around these characters, and you can go check them out in Blue Manor. Alrighty, let's get started. So first things first, I'm going to start with his ears. So I'm just going to do a small curving line like this. Then I'm going to do the other side, and I'm going to draw his forehead. Just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to do his other ear. He's got 2 ears. I'm going to add a little detail in here, just one little line like that. He also has these marks on his head, these little stripes. So I'm just going to put 2 of them in there, like that. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm going to start right here, right on this ear, and I'm going to curve down like this. All the way to the bottom of...
Hey, Audrey, is there any
Yeah.
way that you can turn up your mic?
Oh, let's see. Can you hear me better now? Can you hear me better now?
I think that might be better.
Okay, can you hear me better now? Or
Yes, it looks like everybody can hear you better now. Perfect.
okay, good. Alrighty. So, anyways, as I was saying, you just draw a curved line all the way to the floor. Then I'm going to start over here on the back of this other ear, and I'm going to draw a curving line that's all the way down like that. Okay, I'm going to start right here on that curving line that I just drew. I'm going to draw another line, straight line, all the way over. If it's kind of hard to draw a straight line, because, it can be, you can just take a ruler or a book and draw it straight. Or you can just, try to sketch it in there. Alrighty, and then I'm going to do his back leg. So it's basically an oval shape, just a bit of space left between there. So basically an oval, and then I'm going to put his little foot down like that. Okay, now he has a tail, and his tail is like a little bread roll. So I'm just going to do curving like this, and the straight line that connects into his body. Okay, and then I'm going to draw a little stripe. He actually has 2 stripes on his tail, but you can't really see him at the angle he's in right now. Alrighty, now on his stomach, he has this curving line like this. It's a little mark like that, and it's just like a semicircle, half a circle.
Okay, and we are drawing. They want to know a little bit more about who they're drawing and wanted to know if we could pause real quick so everyone can catch up, and if you could tell us a little bit more about the character that we're drawing.
Okay, so this character, let's see. I have a full picture of him right here. So this character, his name is Baguette, and he is a French baker. He bakes like lots of cakes and lots of sweet stuff. He is actually dough. He's like made out of bread dough. So every time he goes into the rain or gets wet, he'll become all soggy, and he has to get a bunch of flour to fix himself and make himself fluffy and not soggy. So yeah, that is Baguette. And then Arnold, let's see. I have Arnold right here. He looks a bit angry in this one. But Arnold is his little sidekick, and Arnold is very smart. He can, show him all the directions to get all the ingredients he needs. He can build Baguette stuff, help him carry his pans and pots and stuff. So he is his like little sidekick, and he's super helpful, and he will do anything for Baguette as long as he gets rice cakes. That is the payment he
You said that you had a little like comic strips for these characters. Where can people find that?
Well, let's see. The first one I did was about Baguette. He needed to get flour because Baguette is a very big problem. Baguette ran out of flour, so he had to get more. But then something very crazy happened. It rained and he got all soggy. So, yeah, big problems. You'll have to read that comic to see what happens next. But yeah, I've made a few comics. I'm working on one right now. His oven got destroyed, so he's got to find out how to make cakes out an oven, and it's not working.
Okay, looks like people are all cut up and ready to continue the tutorial.
Okay, so we're gonna pick it back up again. We're going to draw his feet. Now Baguette has very little feet. We're gonna draw a little foot in here. Just a little line, diagonal line that kind of goes up like that. And same thing on the other side. I'm gonna just darken that line right there and then draw another little diagonal line that comes up like that. Alrighty, now we have his face. I'm gonna draw his face. I'm just gonna give him a sweet, happy smile. Okay, I'm gonna hide these images. So I'm just going to give him like, oh, my feet disappeared. Whoops, put those back in there real quick. Alrighty, I'm going to draw just a little circle, just like that. Little circle, fill it all in, and then the exact same thing on the other side, like that. Alrighty. And then Baguette has a little nose. He's got a little triangle nose. Very small, right here, closer to this eye, because he is turned. Alrighty. Then he has eyebrows. He's going to have his eyebrows up because he is happy, and when you are happy, your eyebrows go up. So a great way to learn how to draw expressions and stuff is to get reference or just look in the mirror and make a bunch of faces, like a happy face and a sad face and mad face. And see kind of what your face does. It'll help you draw expressions. Okay. So I'm just gonna give him a little smile. He's kind of happy. He's pretty happy. His cake turned out well. He's very satisfied with his cake. Alrighty. And then sometimes Baguette will wear a chef hat. So I'm just gonna draw his chef hat real quick. So just two lines that kind of come out of his forehead like this. And then with a straight line, we're going to connect those. Boop, like that. Okay. And then he has some little lines in his hat. Like that, some little folds. And his hat's going to come up like this. He's got a pretty big hat. He likes big hats. Okay, and then I'm just going to do some curving lines. Like a half a circle here. And then on that half circle, I'm going to start another half circle. Okay, like this. And another one right here. I'm going to connect that in. And there, we have our little Baguette. He's got his hat on and his little bread tail sticking out. Okay. Well, next, I'm going to draw Arnold.
So we have a comment here. Somebody's wondering, do you make the comic? Do you help make the comic? Are you the author?
Yes, I draw it and I write it. And then I normally have someone else edit it. Normally my dad or my mom helps me edit it. But yeah, I basically do it all by myself, which is pretty challenging, but I get it done. Okay.
So what website can people go to see your comic?
So it's only on Blue Manor right now. So you have to go to Blue Manor. Just for them, you just have to go Blue Manor, and I'm pretty sure it's either in preschool or first grade. So yeah, it's an early reading, but it's really cute and funny anyway. For all ages. Okay. So let's get started on Arnold. So I'm going to draw Arnold a bit bigger because his real size, he's actually really tiny. He's like that small. He's very I'm going to draw him a little bigger than he actually is. Okay. First, I'm going to start with a circle. Just a circle, and I'm going to leave this part blank. I'm not going to put anything there. If you guys want, you can just draw a full circle and then erase this part later. Okay, and then I'm going to draw another circle like this. And it's a lot bigger than this circle right here because his body is a lot bigger than his head. Okay, now I'm going to draw his tail. So basically just a straight line up like this, and then a curving line over, and then another line down that it connects into his body, like that. Super simple, super easy. Now he has a few tail feathers in between that. So I'm going to draw 3 lines. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Okay, now for his feet. His feet are super easy. All they are, they're just 2 little lines. And then sometimes we can draw his little toes like that. Super easy. Okay, and then he has a wing. He has pretty little wings. Now, what I like to do with Arnold to make him more expressive is draw his wings kind of like arms and hands. So right here, I'm going to, now real birds can't actually do this, but Arnold can because he's not just any bird. So I'm going to have him have his wing like on his hip like this. So I'm just going to draw a curved line that goes out, and then his feathers are going to curl up like this. So this is Arnold with his hand on his hip. He is upset about something. Okay, and then let's see. I think I'll do that with the other wing too. I'll have both wings on his hip like this, and I'm going to have the feathers curling back. Now we're going to have to erase this. So like this is just a curving line, and then I do kind of an oval right here, and then a little bump behind that, like that. Alrighty. And now this stuff can't be here. Oh, so I'm going to erase it. Okay, if you guys don't have an eraser, well, that's not good. You could try to smudge it with your finger. It'll kind of blur out. But yeah.
So Darcy wants to know: Is there Baguette Cat Junior?
Is there a Baguette Cat Junior? Not yet. Baguette hasn't had any kids yet. He's a little bit. So no, there's no Baguette Cat Junior, unfortunately. But I think he would be very cute if there was a Baguette Cat. Alrighty. Now to finish this wing, I'm just gonna do a little curving line, and it's gonna curve out like that. So yeah, these are his little wings, and he's upset about something. He's got his wings on his hips. Maybe Baguette burned the cake or something, or knocked down his house. He's a little bit frustrated. Okay, so for his beak, let's see. I'm gonna have him kind of sticking his beak up a little bit. So he's got a really long beak. So just a line, and then another line that goes into its face. So it's kind of like a super duper skinny triangle. Okay, and then I'm going to just erase this part a little bit like that. Alrighty. So now I'm going to draw his eyes. Now, he doesn't really, he has a mouth. His beak is his mouth. He eats with a beak. But he really only has his eyes to express how he's feeling. So I like to sometimes exaggerate it. So when I want to draw him upset, I'm going to do his dotted eyes. When he's upset, I like to draw like really big eyebrows that come down like this. So it's just a super big curving line. So I'm going to show you again. It starts like right up here off his face. His eyebrows are jumping off his face, right? And it's just a curve up, and then it curves all the way down like a slide, swoops all the way down and connects into his beak. And the same thing over here is going to curve up, and it's going to curve down. Oh man, he's super angry. In fact, to make him even angrier, I'm going to have his cheeks up, like he's pouting. Alrighty, there we go.
We have a question for you. They want to know, Ruth wants to know how old you are.
I'm 15 years old. Yes, I'm very old, and I'm basically adult. So. Okay. So that is our Arnold. I'm gonna shrink him down. This is his real size compared to Baguette. He is a very small finch bird. So, anyways. Okay, so now that we have our Baguette and Arnold drawn, I'm gonna kind of fix Baguette. So Baguette, I mean, he looks really cute and stuff, but his expression's kind of a little bit boring. He's just smiling and stuff. So I'm going to change his expression. Now, if you look at real animals, I mean, they don't really have a face like that. They don't really have two dotted eyes and like a smile. So normally what I do is I take human expressions to draw my cat expressions. So right here, I have human expressions. And they're all very expressive. I love this one. This one's like my favorite. Very funny. But these are all human expressions, and I'm still going to use them for my cat, even though they are human expressions. So right now, I'm going to draw another Baguette cat. Okay, but this time I'm going to make him super angry. Like he's going to be oh so angry. I'm going to shrink these down a little bit so then I have a bigger thing to draw on. Okay, so I'm going to go a little faster for this. You guys don't have to draw it. But this is just an angry face for Baguette. So once again, I'm going to start with his ear and draw a curving line to his forehead. Draw his other ear on the other side. Add the details. I'm going to give him his little marks on his head, like that. And then I'm going to curve this line down. And now actually, he's super upset. So what I can do is I can draw him in a different pose to kind of really capture how upset he is. So I actually do this a lot. I'm going to put him into a pouncing position, like he's about to pounce, but he's really angry. So I'm going to draw his face kind of smooshed onto the floor. So I'm just going to draw a line like this, kind of like that. There we go. Now starting right here, instead of drawing the rest of his body like we did last time, I'm just going to draw a straight line like this, all the way across. Boom. It's going to be all the way straight, and then I'm going to start right here from like in the middle of his two lines. I'm going to draw a curving line, curves all the way over like that. Boom. Now he's like kind of on his hands and knees or whatever. He's pouncing. He's in a pouncing position. Looks like he's going to jump on a mouse or something. So I'm going to draw his little bread roll, and I'm going to draw his leg. It's going to be on the ground like this. It's it's basically an oval, and then it's on the ground, and his foot is popping out right there. Okay, and now he has another paw, and he's going to be right here. I'm going to start right here. I'm going to come up, and I'm going to curve over like that. I'm going to do the same on this side right here. His paw is poking out just a tiny bit like that. There we go. And now I'm going to draw this face on him, and it's going to look really cute. Alrighty. So what I'm going to start with first is his mouth. And he's got his mouth open. So I'm just going to start with a line. It's going to be a small smiley face, like a little curving line. Kind of looks like he's smiling, but he's not actually going to smile. And we're going to turn it into a frown by coming up and curving down like that. So you got this weird kind of curving line. Okay, and then I'm going to curve up like this, just slightly, and then back in. There we go. So he's like grumbling. And then his tongue, this guy's tongue, he's kind of sticking it out. I'm going to draw his tongue right here. Alrighty, now we gotta add our eyes in. The eyes are what makes him look really upset. So let's see. His eyes, they're kind of like triangles. So I'm gonna draw some triangles like this. It's gonna curve a little bit. It's not like 100% a triangle. It's gonna kind of curve in a bit. And then this line's gonna go out just slightly. And then we're gonna go back to center. There we go. Same thing over here. I'm going to draw a little triangle and then kind of curve like that. There we go. Oh, he looks so upset. Just wait till we add in our eyebrows. So I'm going to draw the nose right here real quick. And then I'm going to put in the eyebrows. And the eyebrows are super big. So they're going to come up all the way over here and then swoop down, kind of like what we did with Arnold. And he's so upset. Jeez. It's like maybe a rat is coming in to steal his cake. He's so mad. That is our mad Baguette. And he looks very upset. Even though we used a human expression on him, it still works for our cat because this is a cartoon and we want our animals to kind of be humanized. So then humans can, sympathize with these characters. They're not just some stupid animal. They're feeling and thinking beings who have, whole lives and stuff. So that is our cat. Alrighty.
So
Now,
they wanted to know what colors they should color Baguette and Arnold.
Okay, well, I will get to that in a second after I draw another Arnold, just real quick. Then I'll show you guys what colors to do your animals. Okay. So last time we drew our Arnold, he looks super upset. But Arnold, he's not always mad and angry. So I'm gonna do a happy Arnold because Arnold deserves to be happy sometimes. So I'm going to start with a circle. And then I'm going to do the bigger circle. And we're going to do the tail, just to line up like that. And a curving line. And then a line down. Boom. Then I'm going to do 3 lines. 1, 2, 3 for his 3 tail feathers. Then I will do his legs like that. Okay, and then I'm not going to have his feathers out all crazy. I'm just going to have them folded in like that. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to draw his beak. It's going to start right here. It's going to come out like this. And then same over here. Curves in, and it's like a super, super skinny triangle. Okay, now I'm going to draw his dotted eyes. Super simple to draw these. Just little dots that are like ovals, color them in. And then he's going to be happy. So I'm going to have his eyebrows, it's going to kind of jump off his body. I know that doesn't happen in real life, but it's going to happen here because this is a cartoon. So I'm going to have his other eyebrow up like this and the other one over there. Now, right now, he just looks like, kind of in a good mood. He doesn't look super happy. But I'm going to change that with a simple line. All I'm going to do is to make him look really happy is I'm going to put his cheeks up like this. And now he looks very happy. Like he's really smiling. Even though he doesn't have like a face that, is smiling, he still kind of looks like he is smiling. So that is our happy Arnold. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you guys how to color your Baguette. So right here, what I'm going to do is what I need to do, actually, to color him in it is I need to ink him in. Because if I try to color him in like this, well, first, it's not going to work very well. And second, I may accidentally, like I'm going to pick my color here, I may accidentally scribble over the lines. So I'm going to ink him in. So then that doesn't happen. Alrighty. So what I do to ink him in, I'm going to turn the opacity down. Now, if you guys want, you can just go over with the pencil and make the lines a little bit darker so they're easier to see. But what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to ink him in with black line. And you can do this with a pen. You can do this with a marker. You can do this with anything that's black. You could use a black crayon if you wanted to. So I'm just going to trace over the lines pretty carefully. And then I'm going to color him in afterwards. And the details, give him his little stripes, and then his eyes. I really like his eyes. Okay, so with his eyes now, this is hard to do if you're just on paper. But what you can try to do with the eraser, and it really gives your character some life, is put a little shine inside their eyes. It looks so much better. It makes them look, more alive. than they did, before it. So you can do that with an eraser. You could try it with a marker or something. You could even try to glue a little tiny piece of paper on it or something. But yes, a little bit of shine gives your character some life.
So Ruth wanted to know if we could pause for just a moment so she could step away and go get some markers.
Okay, yeah.
She said that you should have a little cartoon show because she likes your characters a lot.
Aw, thanks. Maybe I will make one day. I could do like an animation of Baguette trying to cook.
That would be super fun.
Oh, yeah. Baguette also has a backyard bakery. So every time he makes a bunch of sweets and stuff, he sells them to all of the animals in his forest or neighborhood. So, yes, he is a professional baker selling all his sweets.
Someone asked, tell us a funny story about Baguette.
Funny story about Baguette. Let's see. Well, one time Baguette broke his oven, okay? This is the story I'm trying to draw right now, actually. And he really needs to try to cook his cakes because all the flies are eating them, and his cakes won't make it in time because, the repairman, he's late, he can't come till tomorrow. So he really has to make his cakes. So he's trying all these things. First thing he tries is he's like, okay, I'm going to turn the heat in the house all the way up. So the house turns into like an oven, right? Very smart. So he turns up the heat. He gets Arnold to help him. He puts all his cake pans out, and it's getting super hot, and he starts to melt because he's made out of bread. So he's starting to melt, and the cake is not cooking. It's not working. So they take it outside, and they're like, okay, fire's super hot. Why don't we just light it on fire? So they get their fire, and they light it, and they burn up his cake, completely destroy it. So now he only has a few cakes left, and he doesn't know what to do. Arnold comes out with this huge contraption. It's like this giant magnifying glass machine thing to harness the power of the sun. So he's going to get the power of the sun. He turns it all on, right? And the cake, it gets super big. It really cooks. And in fact, it's the biggest cake he's ever seen in his entire life. But then it explodes because it's way too hot. It's everywhere. So now Baguette doesn't know what to do. And he tries a bunch more things, but I haven't finished the story yet. So you'll have to go on Manor and find out what happens next. But yeah, it's not going well for Baguette. Alrighty,
So it looks like Ruth is back, so we can continue with the inking tutorial.
Okay, so I'm just going to continue inking. I'm going to go over all the lines like this. Oh, and if you guys are wondering what I'm using Procreate. Now, it's on an iPad, and it's not free, but there is a free program that is called Sketchbook, and it's pretty good, almost as good as this. It's got like all the brushes, got plenty of tools, got lots of layers like I have here. It's really nice. So if you guys want to draw on an iPad, then you look into that program. Okay, I'm almost done here. Also, the fun thing about Baguette is that I get to draw him differently every single time. Because since Baguette is made out of like dough, he can squish and like roll into a bunch of different shapes. Now, he normally chooses like this shape, to be in because it's easier to move around than, just being a blob of dough. Okay, now we just have his hat left. Really like his hat. He doesn't always wear his chef hat because he travels a lot because he has to get all these really rare and exotic ingredients from all over the world. So he doesn't always wear his chef hat because it could blow off and he would lose his beloved chef hat forever. So he only wears it in the kitchen. All right. There we go. Just 3 curving lines like that. Okay, so I fully inked him in now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a color, and this color is like an orange. It's almost orange, but not quite. So like a little bit of a dulled orange. If you guys want, if you guys just have orange, you could just color him orange. But the real color that I use is a dulled orange. Already, I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm going to drag it in, and boom, I just colored him like that. Now I know it'll take you guys a little bit longer since you guys are on paper, but it's a lot easier for me to color it by just dragging in the color. So that's the cool thing about drawing on a computer or an iPad is you can take all these shortcuts. Makes your life a bit easier already. So that is the cat. His main color is orange. That's his dominant color. Now, his little, let's see, his little marking, his little bread marks is a super light tan color. So like this. It's slightly yellow, so it's a tan color.
So do you ever draw on paper as well?
I do paper lots, but normally I have to draw my character on iPad so that I can put him into a book. Because if I draw him on paper, it's a lot harder to put that guy onto like a book cover. So yes, I normally draw on an iPad. Okay, there we go. So I got all his bread markings done like that. So his stripes and his little mark on his belly and his little mark on his tail is also super light tan color, or just peach or skin color. You could do skin color as well. That would work as well. Alrighty, for his hat, I normally just do white, so you can just leave it white. I'm gonna put that in there. Alrighty, and I think I'm gonna wait a little bit for everyone to get done coloring, so then I can show you guys how to shade a little bit. Okay. So let's see.
So what gave you the idea of Baguette the bread cat?
Well, one day I was drawing a cat, and it looked like bread. So I was like, oh my goodness, let's do Baguette the bread cat, right? Originally, I was going to name him Loaf, but then I found out there's actually a bread cat already out there named Loaf. So I couldn't name it that. So I chose Baguette, and I think Baguette's a bit more fitting, actually.
I think it's really cute.
Yeah, especially since his tail is kind of a baguette.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bread roll. It's very cute. Alrighty. So if everyone's about done, I'm going to show you guys how I shade. So what I do is normally, this is like the easiest way. Just pick the color that you have, orange, and just do it darker, like a brown, like this. Okay? So that is what you guys can do. Normally what I do, and if you're on an iPad, you can do this too. You can choose black, and you can just, color like a large area, the area that you want to be shaded. You color it all in like that, and then you can turn down the opacity. And boom, I got shading in like a few seconds. Okay, but I won't do that today. I'm going to use brown like this. And this normally looks better anyway. So let's see. I'm just going to shade the bottom because I want the light to kind of come from over here. So the top will kind of be, the top of him will be highlighted, and then like over here will be shaded in. So I'm just going to draw this line. And what you can do is just get a darker color and kind of go over your cat a little bit. Make him a little bit darker over here. Now what I'm going to do, because see this spot, I don't want it brown necessarily because that is for his base color. This needs to be lighter. So I'm going to erase it with a turn down eraser.
So can you also, if they don't have a different color, can they just press harder with the same color? Just go over it a couple times? Somebody had some questions here.
And you could just use a different color. I mean, let's see. I think maybe use a gray. A gray could work. You could do it like that. And then let's see, with the opacity turned down a bit, it looks pretty natural. So you could just use like a different color, but press lighter so it doesn't show very much. Or you could just use a gray. You could use maybe red. Red would work. Or you could just press down with harder with your color that you have. Okay. So I have this color here. He's kind of shaded in. Now I want his hat shaded in. Now what I could do, I could use a gray, and you guys can too. Gray works. But I'm going to actually choose a blue, like a grayish blue, just to give it a little bit more color. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to shade the edge of his hat like this, and just a little bit over here as well. There we go. Okay. So boom, he's basically all shaded, and let's see. I'm going to shade a little bit behind his ears, and I can even do it like kind of under his eyebrows to give his eyebrows some depth. If I want to do that, you can shade under his smile, you can shade under his nose, and even over here, like where his little ear marks are, you can shade that too. Alrighty, there we go. I've fully colored and shaded my baguette. Sometimes what I'll do for effect, you guys don't have to do this, but just for fun, to give him a bit more color, I'll take like a yellow, and I will just take yellow. I'm just going to go over like just a little bit like this, and then I'll blur it a little bit just to make it look like the sun is kind of shining. I'm going to do that. There we go. The sun is shining on a wonderful baguette, and he's very happy. That is how you color baguette. If you guys want to do the sunshine, this is pretty hard, but if you guys want to just take your yellow and go lightly over it, be careful. If you have like a marker, it could ruin it. But yeah, that's how you do some sunshine.
So I'd love to see your guys' baguettes. I have mine right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Oh, it doesn't want to show it. Let's see if I can get it to show it. I'm going to have to send you guys a picture. So if you guys can go ahead and post in the event with your little baguette, I think that Audrey would love to see what everyone has created. If you want to post a comment with a picture, you can do that too.
Yeah, I would love that. I can't see your guys' stuff right now because I have screen recording up. So, but I would love to check that out afterwards. Yes, and we're about to do Arnold, so I'd love to see your Arnolds too. Alrighty. So is everyone about done coloring in their baguette? Because if they are, I will move on to Arnold. Okay. So I have my Arnold here. I'm going to use my happy Arnold instead of the guy who looks really upset. So let's see. I'm gonna do the same thing again. I'm gonna darken him up, ink him in, so that I can color him correctly. So I have to do this every single time I draw them. Normally what I do is I don't even sketch them out. I just jump straight to inking in because it's a lot easier. So then I don't have to sketch them out and then ink them in. I just ink them in. I just like draw with the ink and then color them right away. Okay.
I know Ruth. She says that her cat is very dark because of the colors that she used. I have to say yes. Mine is alternating because I had just on my desk, what I had available to me was a couple of highlighters. So mine is super, super bright. So I think that it'll be fun to see everybody's.
Yeah, if he's too dark, maybe he just sat in the oven a little bit or something. Because he can be a bunch of different shades. Maybe he's wheat bread if he's super light, because he's just basically dough. The reason why I chose orange is because it pops more on the pages, so it's easier to see him. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see him in other colors. Okay, I am basically done inking in my Arnold, so now I can jump into the colors. So for Arnold is super simple. He just, let's see, he just has a brown for his tail feathers, a dark brown. You could do, let's see, yeah, basically just brown. If you don't have a brown, you could just go in with your pencil and kind of lightly go over it. It could be gray as well if you guys don't have brown. His beak is the same color as his tail. And then for his wing, he's got like a bit of red on his wing. I'm going to put that in there. If you guys don't have red, you can use orange. You can use purple. Or you guys could just make it whatever you want, actually. It could be pink, blue. But yeah, his marking is red. So those are his colors, basically. He's white. The rest of his body is white. So yeah, he's just red and a bit of brown. I mean, mostly brown, a little bit of red. Okay, and then I'm going to do a bit of shading on him. For the shading, I'm going to use a bluish because he's mostly white. I'm going to use the blue. And I'm going to go in on his tail. Let's see, I need a dark blue. I'm going to go on his tail. Even though his tail isn't blue, I can fix that. So if you guys are shading your Arnold, go in very lightly with like a gray, or you could do a dark brown, whatever. And then for the white part, you could just do gray, like a very light gray. Because right here, I'm doing it really dark, but I'm going to turn down. I'm going to erase it a bit.
So Katie says that she is in elementary school and she made a piece of art and it got put in a high school for the high schoolers to see. And she's just 12 years old.
Wow, that's very impressive. Good. Yeah, I never did something like that. That's amazing. Good job. You'll probably be a better artist than me then when you grow up. Okay. It's all shaded in. Now what I'm going to do is with this eraser, I'm going to turn it down a bit. And I'm going to just kind of erase this part right here so it looks more brown than blue. Same over here. It's too dark, so I just want to erase that a bit so it doesn't look like he's so shaded. There we go. And over here and over here. Okay, there we go. We shaded our Arnold and Baguette are both shaded. I'm going to add a little bit of sunshine onto our Arnold, just because. Let's see. I'm going to just go in with a little bit of yellow. You guys are using pencil, crayon, ever. Just going super lightly. And if you guys are using marker, I wouldn't recommend adding sunshine at all. But you can try. Okay, I'm going to erase that a little bit on his tail because it's too bright. Since his tail is so dark. There we go. And there we go. Now they both have a little bit of sunshine on them. So guys, let's see, we just finished drawing our Arnold and Baguette. So are there any questions about anything? Anything that you want to know how to do real quick?
If you guys really liked this art class, you guys are definitely going to want to sign up for the 30-day free trial. Like I said, it's only $25 per student for Blue Manor Academy after the free trial. So super affordable, and you get access to a bunch of different really fun clubs. Blue Manor Academy is the first online Christian homeschool academy modeled after elite prep schools. So what sets the prep school method apart really from the other methods is that they train a child's mind, body, and spirit. Blue Manor takes this even further by teaching children purpose, mastery, character, etiquette, social networking, faith, family, tradition, leadership, wealth, essential information, stories that matter, and real heroes from history that they can admire. Mastering the basics of knowledge in these areas set a solid foundation for your child on their path to greatness. So go ahead and check out the free trial and give them a try, because I am sure that you will absolutely love all that they have to offer.
Well, guys,
So Ruth has a question. She wants to know how you would color the wings for Arnold when he's grumpy.
he's grumpy.
Yes,
Let's.
with his wings are on his hips. Where would
Okay.
the red go? Where would the red go?
Yeah. Let's see. I'll draw that real quick on him. I won't ink him in or anything, but let's see. Hide all these sketches. Okay, so the red would go. It would go like up to here. Oh, gotta get out right there. There we go. It would go like up to here, like that. Then I would color it all in along his feathers, like that. And it doesn't really matter. You can do the whole wing if you want to. You can just do like the tips of his feathers. But normally I would do it like, that much. Okay.
So I heard that there's a new art class that you're starting in September. So tell us a little bit about that art class.
Well, it's going to be an art club. So basically what we do with the art club is we do like a super quick lesson, and then afterwards we'll either, end the class, or we'll do like an activity. Last time we tried to do Pictionary, we did it on like what's it called, the whiteboard in Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all Zoom classes, but then after that, I'll give you like a challenge to do. Like this week's challenge is draw Arnold, and then you'll draw him, and you get to post him on the challenge board. We have a whole board of challenges, and there's a bunch of challenges, and you can participate in past challenges if you want to. So like a few months ago, I did a cat challenge. You had to draw a cat. Even though you weren't a part of like that club at that time, or you didn't do that challenge, you can still post your artwork on it.
Cool. So you can still benefit from all the really fun challenges that you had that are still available in there. That's cool.
Yes. And you can post as many challenges as you want. Like maybe you did one last year, but you have a better cat now. You're allowed to update it, so you can put like another challenge on. So yeah, that is the challenges.
So let me know, guys, if you have any questions. There is going to be a replay of this available on our YouTube channel, so I'm going to go ahead and drop a link to that. And I'm going to drop a link again to Blue Manor Academy. You guys go over there, check it out, support them. Thank you so much, Audrey, for coming here and doing this free class. I know that everyone really had a lot of fun.
Well, I'm glad. So let's see. I hope if everyone's done drawing their baguette, I will exit screen share. There we go. I can see everyone. Okay. There we go. Yeah, are they allowed to share their art in the chat?
Yes, they can share it in the chat or in the event page, either one, depending on what's easier for them. I don't know if they can take a picture of it on their phone. You should be able to share it in the group or in the event.
Okay, yeah, I would love to see it. It would be really fun to see all the baguettes everyone drew. So yeah. Hey guys, let's see. Oh, we actually did do a challenge a little bit ago. Draw a red character. So it's like baguette inspired, and we did like a bunch of different animals. Let's see. The animal that I submitted, like I had a baguette drawing. The one I submitted was a pig that I did. So yeah, you can do a bunch of different animals that are kind of looks like they're made out of bread. Not like baguette.
Thank you so much for joining us, everyone, and I look forward to the next class.